Tarsus, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on earth, a place where the Hittites built their temples, where Alexander the Great marched his armies, where the Apostle Paul was born, and where Roman columns still jut from the soil of ordinary backyards. In southern Turkey, history is not studied here. It is lived beneath your feet. On the 28th of January 2012, a 22-year veteran of the Turkish police force named Mithat Erdal was secretly assigned by his superiors to infiltrate a black market treasure hunting gang operating in the city. The gang believed something extraordinary lay hidden beneath the 82 Evler neighborhood, Yeşil Mahalle, the Green Quarter. Armed with old maps and ancient inscriptions, they moved quietly, and beneath a red-painted house, they began to dig. What they found stopped them cold. Interconnected underground chambers stretching deeper than anyone had expected. Royal tombs sealed for millennia. 32 golden candelabras, ancient coins, and bowls of hammered gold, untouched for 2,000 years. Erdal reported back to his wife Sibel. They had found something the world had never seen, something that belonged to the state. But before Erdal could report the full scale of the find to Ankara, he was shot in the back of the head with his own service weapon. He was found dead at the scene. His superiors filed the report. An accident. A tragedy. Case closed. 7 people connected to the excavation gang were later arrested, but the men above them, the men who had sent Erdal in, were never touched. His wife, Sibel Erdal, refused to accept the official story. For years she fought alone. Death threats arrived. Evidence disappeared. Every prosecutor who took her case was quietly rotated out. Every police chief who showed interest was reassigned. She told journalists, "My husband was placed among those thieves by his own commanders. They found a king's tomb. They found 32 candelabras, coins, golden bowls, and the commanders filed a report saying the dig came up empty. My husband said, 'I won't let them take this. This belongs to the state. That is why they killed him.'" In 2016, after 4 years of silence from the state, Sibel wrote a letter directly to President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan. She laid out everything: the undercover mission, the discovered treasures, the murder, the cover-up. Something shifted. A covert government operation was launched. MIT, Turkish National Intelligence, together with Special Operations Police, quietly moved into the 82 Evler neighborhood. 4 adjoining houses were sealed off. The residents were relocated. A classified excavation began, spanning 150 square meters of urban ground. For 1 full year, the site was covered in blue tarpaulins. No archaeologists were invited. No museum officials were consulted. No journalists were permitted near the perimeter. Whatever was happening beneath those streets, only a handful of people knew. Then the rumors began. Researcher and author Kürşad Birkin claimed he was shown footage, actual footage, taken during the excavation beneath that house. In it, he said, a giant stone sarcophagus was visible, tall as a man, sealed, ancient. Some said the tomb belonged to Emperor Dakianis, a semi-legendary Roman-era ruler whose name appears in both Islamic and Byzantine tradition as a tyrant of Tarsus. Others pointed to a deeper secret, that this city was the birthplace of St. Paul the Apostle, and that somewhere beneath its streets lay the lost gospel, a manuscript the early church had buried and never recovered. And then came the claim that silenced every other theory, that the Ark of the Covenant, the sacred chest said to contain the tablets of Moses, missing from human history for 26 centuries, had been found here, beneath an ordinary residential street in a modern Turkish city. So potent was this rumor that when Istanbul held its conquest anniversary celebrations, the image of the Ark of the Covenant was projected as a hologram onto the dome of Hagia Sophia, a symbol, a signal, or a provocation. On the 3rd of November 2017, the excavation was abruptly shut down. No press conference, no announcement. The blue tarpaulins came down. The officers left. And weeks later, the official response arrived from Turkey's Directorate General of Cultural Heritage and Museums. The full text read, 1 bronze coin, fragments of a broken column, and some ceramic shards of study value. No movable or immovable cultural asset of inventory significance was encountered. Nobody believed it. In the years that followed, the police chiefs who had supervised Mithat Erdal's undercover mission The judge who had closed the murder case and the prosecutor who had signed off on the investigation were all arrested. Not for anything to do with Tarsus, but for membership in a clandestine deep state network operating inside the Turkish security apparatus. The Red House still stands. The street in the 82 Evler neighborhood is quiet, no plaque, no museum, no acknowledgement that anything was ever found there at all. And whatever was brought up from those underground chambers, the candelabras, the tombs, the sarcophagus, perhaps even something far older and far more sacred, has never been shown to the world.